So we just got a new look at gameplay for the hideout system in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and safe to say this actually surprised me quite a lot. From very interesting NPC interactions, many different buildings you can place, the season system for the hideout, the pets and wildlife, and much more. If you thought the Ravenstop system in Assassin's Creed Valhalla was pretty decent, then the hideout system in Shadows completely surpasses it. Now a lot of the gameplay in this video comes from the third and final article out of 3. I've already covered the progression article in a previous video, so check that out if you have not. There was some pretty cool things shown there. There is also some gameplay in this video that comes over from Joe Raptor's channel, so credit to him for that. I will leave a link down below to the hideout article for you to check out for yourself if you want to read it. We're now just over 2 weeks away from the release of the game, so just hold on a little more, we're almost there. As always, if you do enjoy this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and without any more delay, let's get right into it. Now first of all, let's actually go over what the hideout is. Now the hideout in Assassin's Creed Shadows serves as your central hub. Essentially, it's a place for Yasuke, Naoe and their allies to regroup, rest and strategize. In this hideout, you pretty much just take a break from the main story to relax by doing plenty of different things. Now, while past Assassin's Creed games have featured the hideout system like the Davenport Homestead in Assassin's Creed 3, Ravenstop in Valhalla or Monteriggioni in Assassin's Creed 2, I do definitely think Shadows takes the concept a lot more further. It introduces a tile-based building system which is very reminiscent of The Sims, and it allows you to design your own feudal Japanese village from the ground up. So now that we know what the hideout is, let's actually go over the brand new hideout article that was released today, which contains some interesting information as well as brand new never seen before gameplay. So let's talk about where the hideout is located. Now the hideout is located in the secluded valley of Izumisetsu, which you can see is in this region on the map. And its actual location is surrounded by steep hills, making it a naturally hidden location. You can get a very good understanding from this clip which highlights Naoe going into the hideout from the entrance. As you can see in the background, it is definitely secluded in this isolated location. I do want to mention the ambience and sounds in this clip are very impressive. Just take a listen for yourself. Now, you are actually introduced to the hideout very early in the story when you meet the caretaker, Miss Tomiko, an ally of the Iga who has been maintaining it in secrecy. But with Yasuke and Naoe's help, or pretty much you as the player, the hideout will transform into a very lively stronghold, serving as the backbone of their rebellion. Now, some things I noticed from this clip is that it's a very beautiful location. There are allies you can naturally interact with, each having their own personal questlines, which I hope is quite in depth. Additionally, NPCs engage in various activities like fishing, chopping wood, and following their own dynamic paths, a massive improvement over Valhalla's NPCs. And it also does appear to be a pretty big hideout. Now, I mentioned earlier that at its core, the hideout is a tile-based construction system, very similar to The Sims. We're able to place buildings, structures, and decorations wherever we want within the hideout's available space. This of course includes pathways, trees, ponds, rocks of all sorts, many structures that provide in-game benefits from workshops to living quarters. There's even fences, walls, wildlife. Basically, it's just a very in-depth system. An example of how it works is in this clip, where let's say you decide to place down a tea room. As you can see, first of all, the placement of it will remove any foliage that is being placed on, and essentially put that in your inventory, which I think is a neat addition. And there we go, you can actually see the tea room that you built in real time. Now, as you can see from this footage on screen, these are the different examples of a hideout layout. The first scene is what I believe is an empty hideout layout without any buildings or pathways. Pretty spacious stuff to be fair, and I think it's a great indication of how big this hideout can be. I love how the season system works throughout the hideout as well, so it's not just in the actual open world. And you can see the trees are all without their leaves, because in this next shot, we can see the hideout in a much more vibrant and sunny season, and as you can see, more buildings. And this is the case for pretty much any layout. You can essentially place the buildings in any way that you see fit. One interesting thing to note is that Ubisoft has pretty much confirmed that most customization elements are unlocked naturally as you play. So pretty much through completing missions, contracts or scavenging enemy territories. You'll find new items and decorations to add to your hideout. Now, if you're wondering how you expand your hideout, it's done through a resource management system. Unlike Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where settlement upgrades were tied to specific quests, Shadows adds a bit more depth. To grow your hideout, you need 3 main resources: wood, which you can gather from forests and construction sites, minerals from quarries and caves, and crops from farms and settlements. You can pick up small amounts whilst exploring, but the best way to collect them is through the scouting missions. By marking resource stockpiles in enemy territory, your scouts will smuggle them back over time, tying hideout exploration to the game's seasonal system. Now, I really like this because it makes the hideout feel like it's actually growing over time instead of just magically upgrading overnight. It gives you that sense of building a stronghold that lasts. Now let's talk about how the structures in your hideout are not just for show. They actually give you useful in-game bonuses. Here's a breakdown of the main ones. First of all, there's Tomiko's Hiroma, which is basically the heart of the hideout, acting as the main gathering hall. Think of it like the main hall in Ravensthorpe from Valhalla. You can customize it, but it remains the central hub. Then you've got the stables, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can also let your scouts smuggle resources from enemy camps and castles. The forge is where you upgrade your weapons, dismantle gear for materials, engrave perks, and access the transmog system, which I talked about in the progression video. There are also kakurega, which are safe houses. Now these work as fast travel points across Japan and let you manage contracts, refill tools and ammo, organize allies, and restock scouts. The study increases your number of scouts and makes them better at finding objectives. The dojo lets you train allies, making them stronger in combat. Now on top of these main buildings I talked about, there are also themed rooms that give extra buffs. The Terra, which means altar, boosts XP gain while exploring. The Jinja, which is essentially a kind of shrine room, improves prayer bonuses found throughout Japan, especially with shrines found in the world. The Zakishi, or the Sake room, improves health restoration from rations. And finally, the Gallery lets you display collected weapons and armor, while unlocking custom loadouts. Now, something from the article that caught me off guard is the level of interior customization, which is pretty impressive. You have full control over the buildings that you place, and each room can have different architectural styles, floors and wall textures. You can also display weapons, armor, paintings and other collectibles, making it feel like your own space. But the most interesting part to me was that you can actually connect rooms together, creating inner courtyards or linked structures. Now, I think this is a really cool idea because it guarantees that no two hideouts will look exactly the same. It even got me thinking about the idea of doing hideout competitions for a future video. What do you think about that idea? Now, when it comes to interactions and NPCs in the hideout, I don't think they've skimped on this idea. So as you progress, more allies will join the hideout, from blacksmiths to duelists, each with their own literal backstories, making the NPCs not just generic people, something Valhalla failed to do. These NPCs do not just stand around either. I mentioned earlier that they go about their daily routines. You can see them train in the dojo, work in the forge, or socialize in the tea room. Again, something improved upon from Valhalla. I mean, in this one clip alone, we can see an NPC fishing, an NPC playing an instrument, two NPCs chopping up wood. We can see Junjiro, who's an important main character, just playing with a ball, and even Yasuke, our other protagonist, who's just very secretly in the corner sitting down, maybe praying or just relaxing. There are even conversations and events that unfold in real time, adding so much personality and immersion. The article even mentions that the writing team designed interactions based on character relationships, so you might find unexpected friendships or rivalries forming between your recruits. In fact, take a listen to this exchange between Junjiro and this man named Monta. Things like this will happen on a regular basis.
Junjiro!
Just fix it like you did last time. It was perfect. Auntie Tomiko never knew.
I don't like lying to Miss Tomiko.
You're not lying, Monta. You're just fixing the stove. I'm the one who's lying.
And continuing on the theme of just incredible immersion, the hideout will change with the seasons, reflecting different weather conditions and environmental details. Snowfall in the winter, cherry blossoms in the spring, and lush greenery in summer all contribute to the dynamic feel of the world. You can also introduce a bunch of animals to the hideout, such as domesticated cats and dogs, as well as a bunch of wild creatures like deer and foxes. Now these animals are unlocked through the Sumi-e painting minigame, which requires you to sketch them in the open world with either Naoe or Yasuke, before then adding them into your hideout. And there we have it. That was the hideout article in all of its beauty. That was also the final article out of 3, and it was definitely a short one, but very concise and straight to the point. We're now just over 2 weeks away from the release of the game, and I am super hyped. The more I see from this game, such as different clips and footage, the more my interest peaks. Now, I've said this before in a past video, the story to me is what will define this game, because everything looks very well done, well except parkour. We won't talk about that in this video. Let me know down below what your thoughts are with the hideout system. Will this be something you engage with quite often, because I know I am. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.